Hey guys, Storm20111 here, and today I have got a Nanoblock Pokemon Dragonite kit to build, and I will be doing it like I have done with my Sonic the Hedgehog videos. If you haven't checked them out, please do, and also please hit the subscribe button on the channel. I am really looking forward to this. Dragonite's the very first Dragon-type final evolution ever in the world of Pokemon, and I remember trying to defeat him in Pokemon Red and Yellow. It was a really tricky Pokemon to defeat, but the only downside is he was also really difficult to try and evolve. The quickest way that I could ever try to capture Dragonite was to capture a Dratini, and then train it to Dragonite. And the fastest way to catch Dratini in Pokemon Red was in the Celadon Game Corner. But here I am going to build him. So I will make sure that all the parts are, well, all the pieces are assembled together, and I will put them on the floor. On the table, sorry. Catch you in a bit. Yeah, before I do, I should also mention the unboxing as well. Let's get the bags out. Let's see how many are in there. Here we go. So, a good sum. It looks like three bags worth. So, I'm going to open up the bag and then start assembling, putting the pieces together, guys. See you in a second. Thought I'd let you guys know that I should really do it on a step-by-step basis. So step 1, gather the pieces, step 2, gather the pieces, and so on and so on and so on. And just I have, a little bit of a look, and it's 4 bags worth. But nonetheless, I will, I can't really gather, I could try and gather all the pieces. I'll give it a shot, and then I will show you guys the end result. Okay, so what I've decided is, because this is an old set of instructions, you'd have to find all the pieces first, and then do the assembly. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get the pieces that I need. So for step 1, I need 4 of these, 1x4s, they're quite small, 2x3s right here, and then 1x3s for step 1. And I believe we are starting off with the head. I shall put the first step. I'll get started on the first step, actually. See you in a second. Okay, so we've done the first step, and as you can see, we've got the start of the heads done. We've got 6 2x3s here at the bottom and a 1x4, which starts off, I believe, we're going to build up towards the, as usual, we start off at the bottom of the head, and then we did a 1x3 followed by a 2x3, then 1x3. I started off here at the front and then started to work my way backwards. Going through the instructions, I had to double check that when I did the back portion here, that was all correct, and yep, it is all correct. It looks good. So I am ready for step 2, which involves these pieces now, including the smallest piece, 1 by 1. It's practically 4mm by 4mm by 5mm, which is the smallest brick in the nanoblocks. So we've got some 2x3s, 1x4s, 2x2s this time, and some of the T's and L's to go for the next part. Shouldn't be that long. Okay, I have done step 2, and I've got to include the 1x4 blacks here on the front of the face. Sorry about that, my bad guys, my bad, it happens. But yeah, so we have done step 2. I've done this section right here, part 2, step required a 2x3, which I started right there, and then I worked my way backwards, including the little L's, and then the black squares. So it was good for me to actually work my way backwards from the model, for the model when I started that. When I moved on to the next layer, I actually started off with the other 2 black squares. I needed 4 of those little 1x1 blacks, so it works towards the eyes, I believe. So we are now ready to move on to step 3. Okay, so for the next step, step 3, we have got some white 1x2s right here, then some 1x1s for the creams, again 2x1s, 2x2s, a 1x4, 2x3, and then some of the triangle pieces. I'm going to get started on step 3, guys. And this is the end of step 3. So far, we have just built up towards the top of Dragonite's helm. We've done the 2x3 first, and then worked our way backwards with the 1x2 whites, and of course, carrying on with the 2x1s, slowly building up our way towards the top of Dragonite's head. And I think we are nearly done with that, because in step 4, we've got some four 2x3s, little 2x2s of the same color, so 2x3s, and then a little bit paler here with the 2x1s here. Yes, okay, so the 2x1s here, we got 2 of those, 4 2x3s, and then another 4 2x1s, but they are of different color. Now, a tip that I just like to share with everybody, make sure that if you're separating the pieces, make sure you get the color correct, because they can be a little bit confusing. And of course, do it in a into a well-lit room. It won't be long, guys. I'm going to go and do step 4. Okay, and we are done with step 4s, and as I thought, we are done with making Dragonite's head. So we did the 2x3s first, and then the creamy 1x2s, which then built up around the side of Dragonite's head. Behind that is another 1x2, and at the back of the head, which I can definitely show you right here, lovely, well, very well built. Kind of okay built, actually, but never mind. 2x3 here at the back, and then at the top, the 2 remaining 2x3s here, and then the last remaining cream 1x2s. So that is that for step 4. And of course, we have got step 5 to do, and it's quite an easy one, this, because it's practically a little 1x1, a little 1 square piece here, and then 4 cream 1x2s. But it's so easy, I thought, well, why not do it on camera? Show you guys that I always like to, that I'm actually building it. It's all done by my hand. So, with the 1x1, the little one here, we've got to put it here at the top. There, nicely done. And then for the creamy ones, it's, according to the instructions, you do it like this. There we go. Just make sure that it's nice and flat. Perfect. Hopefully if I... Nicely done. Yeah, you do it like this, and then you attach it to the head like so. And there. Well, I'll sort it out in a second, but with the other side, it's just a matter of... boom. De-boop. Just make sure that when you do it, that you put the first one at the very end of the other cream, so that it's that it matches the pattern. If you're not comfortable with doing it on top of one another, just do it. Just do the assembly here, and then attach to the head. And now I believe I move on to what looks like Dragonite's body. So it shouldn't take me that long, guys. I'll gather the pieces and show you what I have to do. See you in a second. Okay, to build up the base of Dragonite's body, we need 7 2x3s here, a 1x3, 2 little L's, a cream 2x2, and then 3 cream 2x3s. So I'm going to get started on building Dragonite's body. Okay, and as you can see with Dragonite's body, I started off at the very bottom. I've done the cream 2x3s and then the orange 2x3s, and then once with the moving up the step, what I did was I grabbed the other cream 2x3s and the 2x2. I put those together in place so that I had a pretty good foundation for moving backwards when I also put on the 2x3s. It also gave me a general idea on what I had to do when it came to the other pieces. So it was pretty much a good move. I went backwards, but I also built the underlay of Dragonite's body. And with that, I believe I'm also starting to work on his tail, which is, as you can probably tell, if I could just focus, coming out a little bit. So yeah, I believe I'm also working on his tail, his torso and tail. So this is coming out pretty nicely. So I'm now ready to move on to step 2, and I've got quite the collection of pieces here. Let's start off with the easy ones. Cream 1x2, cream 2x2s, 2x3, and 3 1x3s, all in creams. For the orange, I've got 1x4, 2x2s here, some 1x3s, some of the T's and L's, and 2x3s. So I'm now ready to move on to the next part of Dragonite's body. Okay, so step 2 of the torso is complete. We started off with another 1x3 cream and then worked our way backwards, building up towards the tail, which I am glad it is nicely secure. When I was doing it, I was a little bit nervous. It's because I might have done something to destabilize it, but I'm glad that I didn't. Also, when you're doing the 1x4 at the back of the tail, make sure that you do read the instructions. Make sure that it is at least one square ahead of the other 1x3s, which are side by side to it, so that it doesn't look out of place, so that it's an actual genuine tail. Then once I did that, I started building up here, and then moved my way backwards, and when I was here at this section of each of Dragonite's sides, I also had the opportunity to put on some of his arms. Well, his 2 arms, so those are now firmly locked into the model. So I am now ready for the next step, step 3. And we've got some cream 2x3s. Some 1x1s, 1x2s in the orange, the L's, the squares, it's the 2x2s, 1x3s, the triangles, and 1x4. So I am going to get started on step 3, guys. See you in a second. And there we go, we are done with step 3 of the set. We've finished off with the front of Dragonite's torso. We've also done his hands. When I was working up from this layer right here, I put on another 2x2, and they were a little bit loose, so I was wondering if these were going to be secured, and they were by these 2x3s here at the top. And then, of course, working our way to the back of the set. And, of course, there is a nice little gap here at the tail of Dragonite. Right. And, of course, at his spine. So now we're moving on to step 4, where we have got 3 2x3s, 3 1x1s, a 1x2, and a 2x2 right here. So I'm going to get started on that. Okay, that is the end of step 4. We just worked on the neck part of Dragonite's body, and we've also done the tip of his tail, which was quite easy. It didn't really take me that long. It took me about a minute or 2 just to get it all together. So now we have to turn him upside down as we move on to step 5, which is his feet. So it requires 4 2x1 whites, 2x1 creams, and 2x2 oranges and 2x1 oranges. So it's pretty easy to do, really. All you have to do is grab 2 of the whites here, then a 2x1 orange. If I can just, here we go. A little bit loose, a little bit flimsy. There we go. And then a 2x2 right here. You can actually do it. Press it all together with just one hand. That easy. And again with the other foot. Second verse, same as the first. Like Sly Cooper. There we go. Did not mean to do that. There we go. I don't really think it matters what position the 2x2 goes in, but as long as it's done, it's done. That's the important thing. So I'm looking at the instructions here. Step 5. But we also... Yeah, so... Looks like I can do it like this. Just hope that I've got it done correctly. There we go. So there we go. We got a build and put on live on camera. Well, on camera, guys, which is the best part. So yeah, I'm quite glad about that. So now I'm going to move on to step 6, where I am going to work on both of Dragonite's wings. I'm going to show you the pieces first before I get building. Bear me 1 second, guys. It shouldn't be that long. Okay, so to build the wings, all we need are 1x1 greens, the L greens, L oranges. We've also got some 1x3 oranges and 1x2s as well. So it should be pretty good to finally build the wings. The green parts are for Dragonite's wings. I'm not sure how best to describe it, but they are part of the wings. It was the original design. So I'm going to get started on Dragonite's wings. See you in a second. Thought I'd let you guys know about the progress of the wings whilst I'm also doing this video. So, as you can see, I've done the right and the left wings. They're practically the same. What I did was, on the bottom of the wings, I started off by building out the structure. With the 2 green L's, a orange L, and of course 2 1x3 oranges, and then I started to oddly build up towards the top of the wing, making sure that it was according to the instructions. I've done the green 1x1, then the green L, and of course a orange L. Just make sure that when you're doing it, that you get the position correct, because even if it just has to create the illusion that the wing is flapping out, and just if you can, try to do it one wing at a time instead of what I'm doing, which is both at the same time. Otherwise, you could get confused and you might mix up the wings. Or if it works out best for you this way, do them both at the same time so that they are isometrical. So I'm going to get started on the next part of the wings. Okay, we have done the next step of the wings. It was practically a little bit tricky on my part, but I had to make sure that was done correctly, and I am glad that they are done in the correct way. I used a green L on the next step, on layer number 3 of the wings, and then I slowly built backwards with the 2x1s and for the oranges, and then on top of those green L's, it was a little 1x1, and then a orange L, and finally on top, a little 2x1. So those are the top of the wings done. Now we are going to move on to underneath the wings. Make sure that they have the illusion all sorted out. I've just got to make sure that the instructions are done correctly. Shouldn't really take me that long. I shall be back in a second. Okay, I've done the underneath the wings. It was a little bit confusing at first, but once I found out what I had to do, I easily assembled it. So what I did was, I did the little green L's. I did them first. I put them in front of the wing, make sure that it was where the L was not going to stick out. And then behind it, it was the 1x3 oranges. So I'm glad that it's all done, because now it is time for the final assembly of Dragonite. So first of all, we're going to do his wings. Just make sure that when you do, if I've read the instructions correctly, you do it like this. Perfect. And make sure that they are nicely placed onto the model. Excellent. He's got his wings, and now it is time for his head. And also gotta make sure, yep. Okay, so nicely done. Gotta make sure that, here we go. Yes, it can be a little bit tricky to do it one-handed, but I have done it, I think. Yes. Oh, and of course I've taken off Dragonite's feet.
Okay, just bear with me 1 second. And that is my Dragonite Nanoblock model. He is now built together and ready to fight alongside Lanch, the first Dragon, the Johto region's champion. So if you guys enjoyed this little build video, including all the little oops moments that I had on the making of this video, please do hit the subscribe button, leave a comment in the sections, and I will try and answer them to the best of my abilities. But for now, guys, please do stay safe and happy gaming. I'll see you guys around.